This episode of GG Over Easy, episode 101, is brought to you by Mr. What the F, OJ Mag, Grayscale, Impasta of Haiku, Mr. Frosty, Quentin, Reacher, Annabelle the Dark, A-War, CC Coon, Filthy Casual, Cars Collide, Green Pete, Halcyonic, Magia Ba 028, Mark Ursay, Mr. Aries, The Drifter's Mom, and The Counselor. Thank you guys for supporting the GG Over Easy podcast and making this episode possible.
Hi, ho everyone. My name's Mr. Fruit, and welcome back to the GG Over Easy podcast, episode 101. We are chugging through the triple digits, and by chugging through, I mean this is really the first after the milestone, but that's not important. We're 11 away from a big milestone, though. And you might think we're kidding, but we are skipping 113. We're going to go from 112 to 114.
I'm gonna DM the guy who came up with Streets 112, and we're gonna see if we can get an interview with him.
Well, that would be sick.
Yeah, that would be sick for the 112 episode. In today's episode, we discuss Deathloop. No spoilers. I've been playing it. We discuss Destiny, the Dream Team being back. Maybe something's rekindled. We talk a lot about the idea of video games, AI, and have we been given them a pass on this artificial intelligence for too long? See what you guys think. Questions and answers as always. Probably some other things in there. But one thing's for sure. It's us boys being boys.
Doing what we do, baby. That's all we know how to do.
Stay tuned. Pardon your regularly scheduled podcast listening for this short ad break.
I'm watching a lot of fantasy football. I know a lot of you guys are heading back to school because it's the fall. If you're heading back to school, you're probably about to spend a lot of time writing. But with Grammarly's digital writing assistant, you won't have to spend a lot of time editing. Grammarly saves you time on your assignments, so you can spend more time making memories. Grammarly provides advanced suggestions for clarity and tone improvements, so you can finish your classwork faster than ever. Grammarly is an all-in-one writing tool that improves your productivity and saves you time when you have multiple assignments to complete. I know when I was in school, I wasn't always the best at editing because I just got done writing a 20-page essay and it was just like, I just didn't want to have to do it. And that's where I really wish I had something like Grammarly to use back in the day. With Grammarly, improving your writing skills is super easy. It doesn't just help with spelling and grammar. Grammarly offers clarity and tone suggestions so you can say with it with style without having to stay up all night. This semester, save time on your assignments with essays with Grammarly. Sign up free today at grammarly.com/GGOverEasy. That's GRAMMARLY.com/GGOverEasy. Guys, for the better part of their lives, our better halves have been fantasizing about the perfect wedding ring. The cut, the clarity, the carat, color, you name it. For us, not so much. And jewelry stores clearly think the same thing. Who really cares about a guise band, right? Well, Manly Bands does. And they're here to rescue you from what otherwise a hellish band buying experience. Manly Bands offers you a free hand, the freedom to look how you want, in just every type of earthly material imaginable, and even from space. With Manly Bands, I actually chose the MVP. I mistakenly chose a ring size that was about a half size too small. Manly Band sent me a shipping thing to send them the ring, and they're going to have it exchanged. Super easy. To get started, order the Manly Ring Sizer from Manly Bands to ensure that your ring will perfectly fit for during work and play. I forgot. Once you know your size, it's time for the fun part. Manly Bands has an insane selection of materials to choose from. Gold, wood, antler, steel, dinosaur bone, and even meteorites that killed them. To order Manly Bands and get 21% off plus a free silicone ring, go to manlybands.com/GG. That's manlybands.com/GG for 21% off. Manly Bands, the best damn rings, period. After the years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless providers, if we've learned anything is that there's always a catch. So when I first heard that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless starting at just $15 a month, I thought there has to be some sort of catch. But after speaking with them and hearing about their service, it all made sense. There isn't one. Mint Mobile's secret sauce is that they're the first company to sell wireless service online only. By cutting out retail stores, there's no crazy overhead costs that get passed down to you in some form of mysterious fees. Instead, Mint Mobile just passes those sweet savings directly onto you. Mint Mobile showed me that I could be saving $35 a month if I switch to their services. So for people looking for extra savings, Mint Mobile also offers premium wireless just starting at $15 a month. All plans come with unlimited talk, text, high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/GG. That's mintmobile.com/GG. Cut your wireless bill to just $15 a month at mintmobile.com/GG.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the GG Over Easy podcast, the greatest podcast. Location in the solar system, any of the solar systems, universes, we're the best.
Longitude, latitude.
The greatest podcast in the history of mankind.
That's right.
Pretty much that's ever been graced upon. Like Mozart, not even remotely
Never heard of
close
him.
to the oral sensation that you get from
Beethoven.
Ooh,
our
oral
podcast is way
sensation.
better than his.
Who is that? Bach? Bach who? Bach these nuts in your mouth?
Sussy Baka Chan, how about that?
Oh, Sussy Baka.
We're actually on. This is the way I just realized. This is our first 101 episode. It's like Zoe 101.
Welcome
But
to
GG Over
Podcast
Easy.
101, where you learn how
It's a tangent because we don't know what we're doing.
to not come up with topics and things. So anyway, welcome to the episode.
The Dream Team episode because we're officially back in the circuit. We're back on the
baby.
market.
We're back.
We're no longer the GG. This
boys
is the
are
Dream
back in
Team
town.
podcast.
The
What if we
boys-
named it that? Oh my gosh, no.
More viewers. No.
No.
It's too far. Because everyone will, then people will be clicking here like, this isn't a basketball podcast. What the fudge is this? There can be more than one Dream Team, dude. Except on YouTube. We're the only Dream Team.
Well, I mean, the Dream Stands may have something to say about that.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't call himself, or his, I actually have no idea. Maybe he does.
I don't know either.
I mean, it does work. Like, it just kind of works. You know, his name is Dream, the Dream Team.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess
And they
that would
like-
be like calling us like the Fruit Team.
I'd like that.
Yeah.
I'll be the Fruit Team any day of the
What's
week.
up, guys? It's
Everybody,
Fruity.
put it in on three. Fruit Team on three. 1, 2, 3. Fruit
Come.
Team.
Team.
Sorry, what was that?
This guy names the team after himself.
Yeah. Yikes. Speaking of naming things after yourself,
Deathloop?
yeah, sure.
Oh.
I was like, I don't know. What do we have?
I don't know.
Nice segue, Rob.
I was like,
I was
somebody
like, do
help
you
me.
ha-
here.
I was like, well, I thought you actually like had an answer to it, and that's why you were waiting for it. And then I was like, I think he actually just wants me to say something that we can talk about.
well, I was like, ooh, this could be a segue. And then halfway through, I'm like, wait, do I even have anything for this? And then I ended it, and I was like, nope.
Yeah, and then I was like, okay, I see the blinders on the glass. See, I have these contacts that allow me to see the screen projected on Mr. Fruit's glasses, and it said help. So
Help.
only I could have
Help
seen that.
me. The cogs stopped turning. The brain just kind of like,
Hey, when you work as hard as you do, you can afford to have a 5-second brain fart.
Thank you. I need them.
So wait, you're playing? You've been playing Deathloop.
I have.
Clearly. Blue, have you played it at all?
Nope.
Okay, I have not either.
I'll keep it spoiler free. I mean, I guess I don't even know how far I am into it anyway.
Is this for content or just for fun?
Yes. As I want to play it, and it's also content. As of by the time this podcast comes out, there's probably been 3 episodes uploaded because the first one's going up today. We're recording it Friday, September 17th. On More Mr. Fruit channel. Check it out. Just finished Blue and I's Soul Link too, so you got tons to watch. And then Blue and I did Portal way back in the day. Rob and I did Cuphead.
That's probably one of my favorite things we've ever done.
It was probably my favorite thing we've done. There's like 3 or 4 other Nuzlocks. There's Ghost of Tsushima Let's Play. There's God of War Let's Play. What you missing out? Anyway.
Get it together.
Yeah. Shameless self promotion over with. Playing Deathloop on PC. The first thing I have to say is, yikers on the optimization. The game is great. But if you go over to Steam, because like the reviews when they were coming in, almost across the board, it was getting like perfect scores. I was like, dang, that's pretty good. And they all reviewed it on the PS5, so maybe that makes a difference.
Oh, absolutely.
Because on Steam, it's actually mixed currently. And that's because the optimization is garbage. I can't even pretend.
Like graphic wise, or just UI, like UI, and like
no, it's just like the minimum specs or required specs for something is like insane. Let me see if I can pull it up. Like they just did not optimize this game very well. I running it on my 2080 Ti or whatever, drop frames and hitch and let's see minimum specs.
Like a lot to the point where like it affected like everything, or
I mean, for me, like it's like whatever, like it's not that big of a deal for me. But I know for a lot of people, okay, so like system requirements. OS 64-bit Windows 10 or higher. I mean, that's not crazy. Processor, Intel Core i5 8400 at 2.8 gigahertz, 12 gigabytes of RAM. Graphics, they want at least a GTX 1060 6 gigabyte. But then the recommended settings are i7 9700 at 3.6 gigahertz, 16 gigabytes of RAM, an RTX 2060. That's the recommended, not even like highest or anything. Like you can run it on what I said at the beginning. It's going to look like a potato, but the recommended is pretty high. It's asking quite a bit. So
I'm going to struggle on my 2080 for sure then.
Yeah, me with my beast. It just doesn't
that
really
thing ain't a beast if it can barely do Deathloop, dude. All right, that's just a computer nowadays.
That's like back in the day. It used to be like, how does it run Crysis? That's like, how does it run Deathloop? It's not even that graphic. I don't know. They just didn't optimize it well. And then on top of that, the crashes. So some people have had problems with different things. Personally, for me, I can't. So you have weapons, obviously, and then you can find trinket or like mod trinkets to slot into weapons, like little mods. I can't do that. I just literally can't. My game crashes every time I try to inspect a gun.
Why are you playing this then?
Well, here's the thing. Like, it's not that big of a deal. And
that's not a big significant part of the game that you're missing by not having these mods.
I don't really feel like it. Well, the thing is, like, I've been able to successfully do it, but like, it's so bad that I'll look at the menu and I'm like, do I really want to risk this? Do I even want to try and mod this weapon? And I don't know if other people, like, that's just been my issue. And it's like, I think through the Let's Play, it's crashed that way like 8 times already.
How do you cut that? Or like, how do you manage that to do that in content? You're just like, we crashed again, or like...
I'm just like, well, there that goes. And then I stopped the recording so I remember that the game crashed. And then I just pick it right back up. But the thing is, it's not during gameplay. So Deathloop, for those that don't know, is a new game from Arcane Studios who do Dishonored and stuff. Love their work. Always stylized, really fun to play. This game is no exception. And in this game, you play as this guy named Colt on this island where the day repeats itself. You're stuck in a loop. And everyone's trying to kill you. Thus was born Deathloop, the name. And you are trying to break the loop by killing these people called the Visionaries. They're like the glue that's holding together this loop or whatever. And if you do what?
The Agent Smiths from like Matrix.
Yeah, essentially.
They're like,
go and kill these Agent Smiths, everything falls apart. But while you're doing that, everyone wants to kill you because you're trying to ruin the party. And there's also this girl named Juliana, who's one of the Visionaries, whose sole purpose is to find you and kill you every single time. And that's part of the game too, is it's this asymmetrical PvP. So you can either choose to play the game as Colt through the story, or at any point you can decide to ruin other people's loops and play as Juliana and invade their worlds and try and kill them and stop their loops. I haven't done that yet because that's not core to like the single player experience, but I want to, just to mess with people.
Sounds sick. That sounds like the really cool part of the game.
Well, my favorite part is when it's like Juliana's entered the game. I'm like, oh shoot, like let's go. Like I get hyped. I'm like, okay, let's do this. Unfortunately, like the last recording I did, the servers were offline. So I was only getting AI Juliana, which is a joke. Like I just poop on her. But I played.
There's no difficulty slider or anything like that.
I'm just a gamer. You know, that's my fault. I'm built different. The PvP one though, the couple people I have been fun. One of them though, like one of the problem people talk about is like people are like afraid to invade as Juliana, which makes no sense. So when Juliana invades you, you're unable to leave the level essentially. There's things called like tunnels. That's exactly what they are. They're tunnels below the island. But in order to go to there's 4 different parts of the island you can go to. And in order to do that, you have to go into your tunnel and then instance into the next one you want to go to. But so the tunnels get blocked off when Juliana comes in. And to unblock them, you have to go to this certain antenna, hack it, and reopen access to the tunnels. So you could do that and then run away from Juliana, like if you're worried or whatever. But the problem is, I guess what a lot of Julianas do is they'll just join and then just camp by the antenna. It's because like as people point out too, like somebody was like, I knew Juliana was there. I was raising hell on one part of the island. Like she could hear me, and she still just sat by the antenna. Didn't bother to come after me. And I kind of did the same thing. Juliana entered, and I didn't stop playing. I'm like, all right, well, I'm just going to keep going. If she shows up, like it's time. She never did, and mine did the exact same thing. I never showed up to the antenna, and Juliana just left. That only happened once, but like what? Like what do you even have to lose? Just go in there and like. Really, you have nothing to lose as Juliana.
Yeah, like why would you?
You're just there to
the
screw
point
somebody
of
over.
Exactly the point of you being in the game isn't to like necessarily win. It's to try and ruin the other person's life. It's weird.
So I don't know why people are playing like that. I know if I go in as Juliana, you know I'm going ham. But the interesting thing too is when Juliana invades, she can appear as any NPC at first. She doesn't look like Juliana. So you don't immediately know. I look for like behaviors that a normal NPC wouldn't do. But then as soon as you shoot her and find out it's Juliana, like her disguise gets broken. But that's a really cool part of it. And that's a whole bunch of fun. But that's just one aspect of it. The rest of it is, you're going through this game and you're trying to figure out how to kill all the visionaries in one day before the loop resets. And the way it works is, like I mentioned, there's 4 parts to the island, and it's not open world. You can't like walk from one part to the other. They're like 4 instances. Yeah. And there's 4 times a day. So you have morning, noon, afternoon, night. And time doesn't accelerate when you're in one area. So like you start the loop in morning, you choose an area you want to go to, and while you're in that area, it's morning. You leave that area through the tunnels. Then it brings you back out. And this is where you mess with your loadout. And so that's why, like, if it crashes when I'm doing it, I just reboot and I'm right back at the menu.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
I'm not like in the game. Yeah. Okay. Like that would be a bummer.
That would suck.
Yeah. But like I'm literally not losing any progress except for a couple minutes to like reboot.
Loading.
Yeah. Which is why, like, for me, it's not that big of a deal. But I'm sure there are other ones that like, if it were to break my gameplay, like that would be really frustrating. Sure. But so that's why it's not a big deal. But then you go out, you can change your loadout, and then you choose another part of the island, or you could go back to that island, because the way it works is every instance, what's happening, what the map has changed to, and where people are different depending on the time of day you go to. So for instance, in the first part you start, this isn't really much of a spoiler, there's like a building, let's say, that has some critical information in it. And you're like, okay, I need to come back to this to figure it out. But then you come back at noon, and now the building's on fire. It's been destroyed. So something happens after morning to where that building is no longer accessible. So if you want to access that morning or that building, you have to be there in the morning.
I'm already lost.
Well, so the game is very generous, though, in the clues aspects. It kind of, for me, it holds my hand a little too much, because it's a lot about like it's kind of like a detective game. You're trying to piece things together. what's really cool is you just explore the map, even if you don't want to do the critical stuff, and you'll find vaults that need codes. You'll find little pieces of paper that give you like clues. And my only problem is so it could be like, hey Joe, remember that gift I was going to give you? Well, I sent it to your vault on the other part of this island. It should be there by afternoon. Here's the code. So then you're like, okay, well, if I go to here afternoon, find that vault, I now have the code. Most of them aren't always spelt out that easily, but like I could find a paper and it's some like weird haiku and I'm like, what the fudge does this mean? But I exit the clue and then the game's like, here's what this means, here's where you can find it. Like it almost like you don't really have to figure it out yourself. Like I could just pick up a clue and exit, and then the game's like, hey, this is what you learned, this is where you need to go. So sometimes it's a little too easy in that. Like I wish they started the game and there was like two options. Like, do you want hint option or no hint option? And then like if you do no hint option, if you get stuck, be like, hey, I need a hint on this. But it is cool because there's so many different things going on, and then when you do solve a puzzle or whatever by yourself, it's really cool. Or when you find one that like is super layered, so like I went to this place at noon and then this place at afternoon, and then I had to go back to another place at morning, which led me back to the other place at noon, and now I can do it, whatever. So that aspect's really fun, and the gameplay is like, it's very much like Dishonored, where they want you to be able to approach it pretty much however you want. Unlike Dishonored, Dishonored was like you could go the whole game without killing anyone. Can't do that here. Like you have to kill the visionaries. But aside from that, you could choose to go stealthy, pacifist for the most part, guns blazing, tons of different ways to do, as well as approaches. They've always been good at that, even with Dishonored. Like if I need to infiltrate this mansion, there's probably like 20 different ways I could do that. I could walk through the front doors, and then you find all the different ways you can do it, as well as ways to trigger an event. So like when you're going to go kill a visionary, without like spoiling much, I could choose to just find the visionary and kill him. I could choose to activate this thing and have it kill him for me. I could lure him in here by doing this. I could piss him off by breaking this, and then he has to come this. Like, it's not just one way to do it. But the odd thing is they really don't want to label the game as a roguelike or roguelite, but it's very roguelite. I'm not really sure.
It sounds very much like a roguelite.
I'm not what
it sounds pretty sick, actually.
It is. I don't know why they it's like when Destiny was afraid to say MMO or whatever. They're like, "Woo, that's a way, like it's thou shalt not be named."
Whoa,
because in reality, the whole day cycle is important, because even if you don't die, it's going to reset. It's not like, well, as long as I don't die, I can just go through this whole thing. You only have those 4 time periods and those 4 maps. So regardless of what happens, the loop's going to reset. But as you go further into the game, it's still kind of with the tutorial. You also realize you can collect this stuff called residuum and infuse it into gear you find to keep it when the loop resets. Almost like a roguelite. So I really don't know why they don't want to say it, because it is a roguelite, but I think they don't want to say it because I feel like most people associate that with like shallow story or depth, when in reality it is like a really fleshed out narrative. And so maybe that's what they're going for, but as far as the game, it's like I'm having tons of fun with it. The only gripes I have are the crashes and the hand holding. I choose to still kind of play it the way I want, but like if you wanted it to spell everything out for you and you just wanted to follow that to the T, you could. And I'm sure some people appreciate that, which is why I wish they just gave you the option. Because like their environmental storytelling is great. The clues and everything. Like there are so many ways I could be able to do it without them having to spell it out for me. Sometimes it is helpful. Sometimes it just feels like it wasn't necessary. But I'm like 7 hours in. I don't know how far I am into it, but it's really fun.
So when I'm like kind of bored of ghosts and stuff like that, and want to play something different, should I put in Deathloop into the little rotation that I got going right now?
I think so.
It's not bad.
Did you ever play Dishonored?
No, I never played it. That's like Bethesda's game, right? Or
and Arcane Studio.
Yeah, no, I never played it because like I've always heard those were super awesome, but I never.
I was gonna say it plays very similar to that. So if you don't have a grasp on that, then I guess that kind of matters. But I think it's really fun. And you can like, for the most part, I get caught because like when I instance into an area, I just want to do everything. Even though I realized, especially early on when you're collecting clues, a lot of it is like into this area, figure this out, now leave. But I'm like, I don't want to leave yet. And so I'll do stuff I don't need to. Or the fun part for me is like realizing, oh, this is probably where this will happen earlier in the day. Now I know where to go. Or I find a safe that would have been opened in the morning. So let me come here in the morning. Like, it does reward discovering. And so as a whole, the gunplay is really nice too. My only fault with it is, and this is what I want to talk about, is the AI. So I only came across this because when I was trying to play the other day, it was like servers are down. I couldn't find anywhere where anyone was talking about servers were down. I looked on Twitter, so I was like, I'll check their Reddit. I don't know if I was the only one that didn't have servers. No one talked about anything, so I was like, this is strange. But one of the top posts on the Deathloop was criticizing the AI, and it hadn't even occurred to me. And the guy brought up a good point. Like, should we be more critical of video game AI? And it didn't exclusively pertain to Deathloop, but most games these days. But that, like, can you genuinely name the last game where the AI was so drastically different it made an impact?
In like what regards? Like in how they handle you in combat and all that kind of stuff?
I guess it could be anything to you. But like where you were like, wow.
I have felt that in Ghost of Tsushima and God of War a little bit. But I mean, those are pretty basic kind of AIs though over the years. I mean, yeah, but you're right in the sort of the sense.
Like God of War is pretty more linear. It's a little bit easier, but like in a sense, like these open world games specifically, like Deathloop.
Oh, okay.
Even Ghosts is kind of guilty of it. Any like especially stealthy game, open world game, Deathloop, it's like you do something to make noise, suddenly you see like the arrows pop up above their heads, right? No matter where they are, even if I didn't even know they were there. And like, oh, they're out on alert right now. And the thing is, like, the AI aren't bad, but they're also just exactly what you would expect.
Well, and like Ghost does fall into that. Like if I am trying to sneak around in a camp or something like that, and I'm clearly like in a bush, you know what I mean? And like any normal like human would see that kind of person, but because I'm in the AI's code, I'm in a hidden area, even though I'm bright as day and I had just killed a dude and there's a dead body.
Abusable.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Like even I can see where this is going, right? Because it's like you don't want AI that is just like so realistic, because then the game can be very boring.
Well, that's why.
But at some point, it's like everyone knows how to abuse every AI in every stealth game at this point.
Yeah. Well, I remember watching this really interesting. There's like a documentary about literally this stealth game specifically in AI, and how having the AI more realistic ruined the experience for people. Because like technically, like for instance, let's say I am an AI in Ghost of Tsushima. My field of vision is like this, right? Comes out like maybe like 30 degrees. Well, technically my peripheral vision should be like this, right? Practically like parallel or perpendicular to where my head is. Well, when you do that, suddenly players get really frustrated because they'll get spotted when they don't think they would, or it's really finicky. And so that's why like kind of approaching somebody to the side and the behind them always works in a stealth game, because like it was one of those things, like it's more realistic, but it's not more fun. And so like that's a whole other thing. But for me, it's like reactive AI. Like in this case, the AI, especially in a game where in Deathloop where you can go about things in such different ways and choose to do so many different things, the AI have such simplistic reactions and almost always do the same thing. Like at one part during my playthrough, I accidentally made too much noise and an entire hall of people heard me. Like I didn't even, like I shot my gun and I looked over, I'm like, oh my God, there's like 30 exclamation marks through a door. I'm like, whoops. So I run through the hallway and you would have thought it was Kill Bill, man. That was a slaughterhouse. Like I just sat there and they just came in one after another. Afterwards, it was just guns and bodies strewn throughout this whole entire hallway. But like, not one of those AI thought, hey, 30 of those dudes just died. Maybe we should approach differently. Because like, if it was in this mansion specifically where I had like 30 different ways to enter the house. So why doesn't the AI have a couple different ways to try and intervene when I'm doing something rather than just the shortest A to B, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, that's hard to code, and that's why. But like, I do think one of the next further developments in gaming necessarily isn't graphical and stuff, but I really think it's AI and being able to have them react. It doesn't necessarily have to be more realistic, like in
so
those stealth
linear,
games.
like just not so linear.
But yeah, being able to be just that reactive to a situation, and act upon that. Like I forget the game exactly. There was one I remember where like I was in cover. I had like two enemies over there. One takes cover, but then while I'm in cover, the other one decides to like flank. And I was like, whoa, that's nice. It's pushing me out of my cover. Like it's reacting to what I'm doing. I wish there was more stuff like that. And in a game like this, where it's supposed to be this like pretty immersive game, that you can really sink into and I don't know, get really immersed, it then kind of just breaks out of it when
that same AI reactive to whatever you did, whether it was stealth, it would be the same thing.
Or like I'm trying to be stealthy. Yeah, I'm trying to be stealthy. I make one mistake and now it's all over. Just stuff like that. Like that's and this isn't so much a Deathloop complaint. It's just AI in general right now. And I think the guy just had a good point. Like, should we be more critical, or should we like expect more? Because it's like we don't really talk about it, and it's just expected now. But is that something we as a consumer should be pushing for, or are developers looking to even push for it? And I know that I'm not trying to say this is an easy fix. Like, there's a reason AI is tough. Like, how are you supposed to tell something to react to something like that? Like, it's way more complicated than you would think. But I don't know. It got me thinking about it, and I'm kind of like, I'm kind of with them. Like, I would like to see.
It's like, I don't think the last time like a AI or like I responded to AI like, whoa, this is like really different from what I'm normally seeing. And maybe I'm just like weird. The first time I actually remember is probably playing the first Assassin's Creed, when you're kind of following and all that kind of stuff, and they would hear you and kind of look around. And that was like the first iteration of that. And now we just see that in gaming every day. You know what I mean? When that first kind of happened, it was like, whoa, like this is real. Like I could like,
it was like, oh wow, this
yeah,
is
it's like
crazy.
I could like listen to their conversation and like follow them, and yeah, I jump into a hay barrel and I'm okay from 20 feet or 20 stories.
That's how that works.
And now, and that game came out what, 2010, 2009 maybe?
I don't remember. A while ago.
It's very AI really hasn't.
Well, and my point is, you still see that AI in 2021, like the exact same AI that I deal with in Ghost of Tsushima. I think I would be equivalent to the people you would see, or the AI in the first Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. And so, like, I don't know, like part of it is just like that. Like some people have experimented with changing how an AI behaves in like the stealth game, like I mentioned. But some of it is, at what point is it just so suffocating that it's not fun? And that was a problem a lot of them realized. But I don't think it has to necessarily be so black and white like that. Just having them react more naturally. Like that's why I was saying in Deathloop, like I can immediately pick out who Juliana is, even though she's disguised, because like, okay, an NPC would never behave like that.
Yeah.
You know? And so like that's something you could look out for. But yeah, like I think you could make games that are like average right now, but if you were to like make their AI drastically different and more intelligent, I feel like it can make games so much more interesting. And they don't necessarily just have to be harder, but like just more creative and fun to interact against. Because like when I was shooting those people down the hallway, it wasn't even fun. At one point, I was like, I want to do.
You got the pattern down.
Yeah, like I'm gonna go somewhere else to make this different. Just for like, I ended up just killing them all anyway. But it was almost for me too. Like, I almost just want to like leave and come back and try and take to this.
Yeah.
Just to have it be more interesting, which is, I guess, one thing I do like about Deathloop, though, is like I just said. So in that mansion fight, I can just do the loop again, go back to that mansion, and now I can do it again however I want. And on top of that, once I cleared the place out, I looked through everything, and that's when I realized, oh, wait a second, I could have entered through here. Oh, next time I should do this instead of that and activate this. And then that, and so like, I think that's one thing Deathloop has going for it is like,
yeah.
Even if the AI are predictable, I can change it up and make it unpredictable in kind of that sense. But yeah, I know, it just got me thinking and making me realize, like, yeah, dang.
But you are right, because I haven't thought about that either. That like I just kind of came to that realization while I was playing Ghost is the AI just is the same reactive kind of AI that I've played in Black Flag, Assassin's Creed 3. You could even say like Splinter Cell to a certain degree back in the day. That was probably most people's first game at like a stealth one. That was just too hard for me as a kid, but I was like way too young to understand the concept of stealth.
Me and my friend tried to play, what was that, Rainbow Six Vegas, like the first one.
Oh, that's like the super realistic.
And we couldn't even beat a level ever. It was, God, I remember that was so tilting. But
when you were like, hey, when's the last time like an AI like you felt was like, wow, this AI is nuts? And I was like, I don't know, probably like when I was 13 and I played my first Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
Well, like those Metal Gear Solids, they probably react the same way as a game would in 2021. Like,
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think Metal Gear Solid was probably Metal Gear Solid and Splinter Cell. The AI from 20 years ago fundamentally doesn't act any differently from the AI of today. So it's like, obviously, that's not to say AI hasn't gone anywhere. Like, we obviously have more robust AI that has a little more,
we're oversimplifying
to it.
Wait, but we're pushing for artificial intelligence? Do you hear what we're saying? Like, we're like, what if
Sentient.
these like, yeah, what if all of a sudden they're like, they know this AI knows it's a video game, and all of a sudden it's like, you know what? It's all the same thing. If I do for you,
everyone drops
gamer,
their guns. Like,
I'm not. Yeah, this. I'm not gonna do this. Yeah, like,
you know what? I don't need to react to shit.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
I don't want to kill.
But yeah, it's
Ryan Reynolds' new movie. Check it out.
Like, AI has become more real. Like, there's AI does cooler things, but you're right. Like, there's no true reactive AI, or at least it doesn't. There's no AI that has felt like that.
And I'm like, sure people have tried and are working on it.
And I would say like the most drastic thing you'd see is like in Ghost, if you like shoot a poison dart at somebody and they start throwing up poison, instead of like fighting you, they'll just run away. Like maybe like something like that is like the most drastic thing or changing with AI.
Yeah, like it's
sorts of those things. But
there's like way cooler bells and whistles to AI, but AI is still dumb.
It's still the same meat and potatoes. The sides might be a little fancier, you know. But
it's like, okay, like you did this, now the AI is going to do this. But like only to a certain degree. It's never true like, oh wow, so you're approaching me, I'm going to run away. But it could be like, this guy's approaching me, he doesn't know that I have this super secret shotgun pistol in my back pocket. And if he approaches me, I'm going to take his ass out. Like, no, we don't get that. We get, I'm going to run now because I'm going to piss myself if this guy gets too close to me.
Well, that's, I think the thing too is like, you know, it's not just limited to these stealth games. I think that's just one of the more obvious examples.
Yeah.
But like when I'm fighting AI, almost in any game, that's the thing is like, I know before I even do something, if I do this, this is probably how they're going to react. And then after like one or two encounters with this game's AI, I just know what's going to happen though.
Yep.
And so.
And it's not like the difficulty's any harder because the AI thinks differently. It's only harder because they do more damage or something like that.
Yeah, 100%.
And so, yeah, I know. Like, we're making it sound like this is a really simple thing.
Yeah,
there's a reason it hasn't evolved as much as everything else.
imagine trying to design AI that realistically mimics how humans would respond to a situation.
That can't. Yeah, that's.
We're asking for a lot, but
it genuinely feels like that's like the next evolution in gaming. It's not so much the graphics and all that kind of stuff. Like, we'll obviously keep making strides, but I think it's when we start to see these like systems and these finer details that aren't as sexy, right, to like the average consumer. But I think that could really change the game. Like, for instance, even just like a kind of an example, I guess, would be Halo Infinite's bots. Like, I was pretty impressed.
I was too. They were owning me.
And they like, that's what evidently they were saying, was like the bots were trying to learn or whatever. So it'd be interesting to see where they could go. But like, I think that's where we're starting to see improvements. And as far as I can tell, it does seem like in order for the AI to improve, it does have to do that. I don't know what the word is, but like the learning. Like, it has.
You think like League bots like work well?
No. They've always had a trouble with League bots. Like,
there's not like a League bot that you could go like, I want to practice mid lane. Let me go practice against a bot. Like,
no,
there would never be a bot that like thinks like you or anything like that, or like does the little finicky things a human.
I feel like
actually
trying
does.
to make a MOBA bot act like a human would be even more complicated.
That would cause absolute hysteria too.
Like, there are so many, because in that too, there are so many micro decisions at all times. But like with League AI, when I first started playing the game, I couldn't beat easy bots. I'm like, dude, this is insane. And then we tried like intermediate bots, whatever they are. Like, oh my god, now I could literally wipe up the floor with any bot without even trying, because eventually you realize
the hardest difficulty one.
Because eventually you realize it's the same thing, and they have the same programming. If X amount of health, I'm going to do this. If I'm X amount low, I'm going to back. If enemy champion is X low, I'm going to chase regardless, and you can set up traps. Or like, it's very formulaic, and that's not a bad thing, but like, it's nowhere near trying to play against a human.
There's nothing like, oh, I'm low and he thinks he's gonna, but I'm gonna run, but I baited him. Like with my other bot friend.
No. But yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting thought, and again, until that post, I hadn't really thought about it.
Yeah, it does bring up a good point. I really never thought about it either.
But yeah, I would like to see whatever that, because I feel like too, over the years, I've heard people talk about like, in this game's advanced AI, but like every time I played it, I was never like, whoa, they're right. This is like next level. So I don't know. I don't know if we'll also see such a drastic change as like when you played Assassin's Creed and Blue played like Metal Gear, where it was like a whoa, like a click. It might just start to be so gradual that it's not going to be an overnight thing, but it would certainly be cool if one game came out and you're just like, this is it. Like, this is the next level.
Yeah. Because like, I feel like AI like in sport games really suck, and you can definitely like figure out how they think too and how they play.
But like, yeah, that's the thing, is how do you get them, like Blue said, to think like a human? To like, it's not easy, and you can't really do just like if then statements, you know.
Well, see, because it's like, when you say like, oh, advanced AI, and then like, I know what's gonna happen when like, because the most recent example of this, where they were just like, oh yeah, we really want this to mimic how you play as a player, is Destiny's Witch Queen thing. They're like, the Hive Guardians. They're like, you're gonna really feel like, you're gonna really feel like you're playing against another Guardian.
Yeah,
and I'm just like,
no, we aren't.
Right, so it's just gonna be like a normal.
Supers.
They're just gonna throw some supers. Like, it's gonna be the same shit I've played the past couple. Like, I'm not expecting anything groundbreaking from these guys. They're gonna be cool, but it's like that dev speak where it's like, yeah, advanced AI. We really want them to. It's gonna be totally different than anything you've ever played. And it's like
buzzwords.
Okay, so it's not.
Yeah. And I think that's the problem too. Is like, we're just so used to that too. Like, and it's like, Like that's a good point. Like I'll wait for Witch Queen, and I might be like, whoa, they're throwing supers. Okay.
But like I'm gonna be like, yo, that AI. Woo,
Like while I'm in my cheese spot, like
if I would love to be actually proven wrong, and I'm like, whoa. But I feel like the other thing too is the first time I fight them, I might be like, whoa, and then the second time I fight them, now I know exactly how you're gonna behave.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the difference. Was like genuinely, even if they make stupid decisions, whatever. But like generally, every time I go to fight this thing, it's never like, like if A then B, or like I know exactly how this is going to play out. Even if they make a dumb play and they're weak and then they push out, but I'm like, whoa, I did not expect that. So like, I don't know. Again, I can't solve that problem. I can tell you that much. And good luck to whoever tries, but I'd love to see that.
Speaking of Destiny, should we talk about the Dream Team's return and Mr. Fruit? I would say almost your return of love for Destiny. Well, not love, but fun.
Well, I've always loved the game. It's like
the game just hasn't always loved him back.
Yeah. Well, and it's always I'm always fond of it. Well, that's just the thing too. It's like I'll relate to like being like an introvert, with friends. I could have a really good friend and we spend a lot of time together. But then things happen, life happens, or whatever, we get busy. I don't even talk to him for like 5 months, But then I hit him up one day and it's right back to where we were. And I never stopped loving them as a friend.
Yeah. I never stopped loving you, bitch.
Yeah. But like, that never changed. It's just at that moment we weren't able to hang out, or for whatever reason we didn't. And then we just come right back and it's like nothing ever changed. That's how I would relate it. And I kind of told
like a really healthy relationship.
Yeah.
Now, Blue, how would you describe your relationship with this?
I fucking hate this shit game. I don't know why I play it. I can't wait to not play this game.
Okay.
It's so funny because like when I think about Final Fantasy, I'm just like, see, that's how I see Final Fantasy, right? It's like I'm not always gonna have stuff to play with you, and that's okay. Because like I know when I come back I'll have stuff to play and it's gonna feel great. Like that's how I feel about Final Fantasy. Like I feel like I'm respected and we love each other. Destiny, on the other hand,
it's reciprocated. Is
like my abusive ex or something, and it's like I hate it here. This place sucks.
But the sex is sometimes good. Is that what it is?
Yeah, there you go. But
it's kinky,
But it is pretty kinky sometimes. Like it does. That's Destiny.
Yeah. Sometimes you like to be me. They could be that. I'm not.
I love it. I'll always love Destiny, but I hate it too. No one hates Destiny more than the people who love it, and that's where I'm at right now.
It's true.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we always talk about when we complained, or like, not even so much complaining, but like just bringing up criticisms. Like, I think it's even more valid, like, and we talked about this, that like when our opinions matter, even if we're not currently playing the game, because of that reason, that we played the game for so long, that we like the game, and we want to see the game be good. Now, obviously, everyone has different opinions, so I'm not saying like my idea for Destiny is better than anyone else's.
I don't even know what I want the game to be.
Yeah, but
I think we're spiraling.
Yeah. Point is, back to playing Destiny, and I'm having fun. And
that's what gaming's meant. That's what it's for.
And I'm gonna grind it, and it might not last. Like I doubt it'll last through
October.
October, November, because then two new game releases.
Battlefield got delayed, by the way.
Battlefield got delayed in November. Yeah.
November 19th. It's the
same day.
I would just like to say the same day as Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl.
Oh, and Shadowbringer?
And Endwalker.
Endwalker.
The Endwalker early.
Shadowbringer was the last expansion before that, Mr. Fruit.
You gotta stop putting shit on November 19th. Stop
I was gonna say, to be fair though, their marketing department, they're like, how much cross-pollination is there between Battlefield players and Endwalker and 100%.
Pokemon? Yeah, like 100%.
Yeah, they're like, for most
and
part,
I just happen to be the one player who's cross-pollinated by all three of them.
You're in the middle of that Venn diagram. Like that's
Oh, this is
Who's
the
getting pulled three
This
ways
guy
and-
plays Pokemon. Oh, he also likes modern military shooters. Oh, he also likes MMOs. Well, fuck that guy.
well,
Which
he's
one
gonna
gives
have a rough
first?
one. Yeah, between that and then like Halo, I'm gonna
Halo's not coming out this year, is it?
December.
Supposed to
Okay.
be. Yeah,
December
it's
8th, I think, or something like that.
With no Forge.
I don't think there's any way they delay it again because I think they're set on hitting the holiday sales.
if they delay it one more time, like that's going to be a bigger meme than Cyberpunk.
And like,
I don't know. The Cyberpunk yellow block of text. I didn't even read it. I knew what it meant.
yeah, you're just like, oh boy. I just think that like at this point they're like the game's gonna release how the game's gonna release. We need to get it before holidays. Like that's the thing with Battlefield 2. They delayed it, but still enough to hit that holiday season. Like, and that might not have been a long enough delay, but it's a little like patch fix. But also we need to hit the holiday sales. Like this is just too big for so many people that like I'd be shocked if they're like, hey, we're gonna move this to like early February. I'd be like, wow. That's telling. It made me feel better, but I just don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
That Call of Duty Vanguard, which ironically, like I'm down to play multiplayer, but I kind of put in my description. I don't know if I talked about it much in the video, but I think it feels like we're nearing the death of regular arena shooters or like just
In
like
the sense of what?
6v6 multiplayer shooters. Like
It's only battle royales now, like that kind of thing.
Like the attention, or at the very least, online, the interest in that stuff is just nothing compared to like 10 years ago. Is everything. The battle royales taken over. Now that's what people like, and nobody's as interested. I mean, to be fair, Halo always had a problem. There was never huge interest in watching Halo multiplayer. So it'll be interesting to see what Infinite looks like. Call of Duty multiplayer is just falling year to year, especially now that Warzone is a thing. Destiny PvP, of course. Well, we all know. And then you also just don't see many shooters like that coming out.
Pardon your regularly scheduled podcast listening for this short ad break.
After years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless providers, if we've learned anything, is that there's always a catch. So when I first heard that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless service just starting at $15 a month, I thought, what's the catch? But after speaking with them and hearing about their service, it all made sense. There isn't one. Mint Mobile's secret sauce is that they're the first company to sell wireless service online only. By cutting out the retail stores, there's no crazy overhead costs that get passed down to you in some form of mysterious fees. Instead, Mint Mobile just passes those sweet savings directly onto you. Mint Mobile had showed me that I could save about $35 a month by switching to their services. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone number along with all your existing contacts. And if you're not 100% satisfied, Mint Mobile has you covered with their 7-day money-back guaranteed. Switch to Mint Mobile to get premium wireless service just at $15 a month. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/GG. That's mintmobile.com/GG. Cut your wireless bill to just $15 a month at mintmobile.com/GG. Guys, for the better part of their lives, our better halves have been fantasizing about the perfect wedding ring. The cut, clarity, carat, color, you name it. For us, not so much. And jewelry stores clearly think the same thing. Who really cares about a guy's band, right? Well, Manly Bands does. And they're here to rescue you from an otherwise hellish band buying experience. Manly Bands offers your hand and the freedom to look how you want, in just about every type of earthly material imaginable, and even from space. I went with the classic MVP, nice rose gold color, it looks fantastic. You can also choose from curated collections like Jack Daniel's Whiskey Barrel Collection. Yes, wood from whiskey barrels. And if you're feeling even more creative, you can customize your band from scratch, choosing the style, material, inlay, sleeve, and even the finish. To order your Manly Bands and get 21% off plus free silicone ring, go to manlybands.com/GG. That's manlybands.com/GG for 21% off. Manly Bands, the best damn rings, period. I know it's fall time, so a lot of you guys are heading back to school, And you guys don't have to worry about essays or editing any longer because Grammarly is here to help you guys. If you're heading back to school, you're probably about to spend a lot of time writing. But with Grammarly's digital writing assistant, you won't have to spend a lot of time editing. Grammarly saves you time on your assignments so you can spend more time making more memories. Grammarly provides advanced suggestions for clarity and tone improvement so you can finish your classwork faster than ever. Grammarly is an all-in-one writing tool that improves productivity and saves you time when having multiple assignments to complete. I could have really used this in AP English when I was in school because let me tell you, after writing a ton, the last thing I wanted to do was have to look for editing mistakes, which in turn made my paper worse. But with Grammarly's free AI-powered writing assistant, I wouldn't have been. I would have been safe from embarrassing spelling mistakes, grammar mistakes, and punctuation mistakes. So don't be like I was in high school and get Grammarly now. This semester, save your time on your assignments and essays with Grammarly. Sign up free today at grammarly.com/GGoverEasy. That's GRAMMARLY.com/GGoverEasy.
I think it's less that type of game is dying. I think it's more people are just less and less interested in what could be a hub game with that mode, right? Because less and less people are interested in just buying the new installment and are more interested in having something that shares the space with something or is the space that has a bunch of things to do.
I think that's what
right?
Destiny
So
does well. Yeah.
Yeah, Destiny does that well. It's a space, has a bunch of different like dumb things for you to do. Every MMO has always done that. Even Call of Duty has started doing that, where you have they're trying, and it's really clunky, where you have Modern Warfare, but it's not just Modern Warfare. Like, it's the entire suite of Call of Duty games. It's like, oh, boot up the launcher. All right, here's Black Ops. Here's Warzone.
Zombies.
Here's Modern Warfare. So I think that's where I think just having a game that is designed around one type of gameplay definitely doesn't cut it anymore. Like, you have to have just a big variety of things for people to do in your game.
Unless it's a battle royale.
Unless it's a BR. But even then, like, Fortnite really tries to branch out, do different game modes. They did the total absolute Among Us ripoff. Like, people want to do everything. If they love your game, like, they're just like, I want to live in your game.
Yeah, I feel like that's the interesting part we're in. It's like, used to, games were fine. In fact, usually encourage you to just like, hey, play this. Okay, you're done with it. Like, go play some others. But now every game's like, stay.
Yeah.
We don't want you going anywhere. I mean, that's the same thing with like YouTube and any social media platform. The algorithms, they all want you to, because at this point, we've never had...
Green Team videos are here to stay, is what we're getting at.
We've never had so many things vying for our attention before.
Yeah.
Or rather, so many people vying for ours. And so people are trying to corner that because there's more options than ever. So people are trying to find ways to make you stay there. And like, it makes sense with Fortnite and stuff. But I wonder if it's a thing, like a trend, like maybe fast forward 10 years, maybe battle royales are now out of trend and regular arena shooters are back. I don't know. But like right now, it's weird to see that, like, because that's like where my love of gaming, aside from like Pokemon and stuff, really started, was the normal multiplayer shooters. But it just feels like year after year, the interest and available games for it kind of just fall out of favor.
I hate to say it, dude. It's probably going to be like something VR related. Like something that is just going to be... Yeah. It's probably going to be something
as VR gets
related.
like more advanced.
I'm just going to have to be chugging Dramamine, man. Just
Dude,
like,
10 years from now, holy crap. Oh my god. You're going to have like the Fortnite VR where people are just in their living rooms being VR fucking Hatsune Miku's in whatever Fortnite comes out in 10 years.
okay, well, see, counterpoint. I saw this picture on Reddit. It was like Sega Genesis, and 15 years later in gaming, it was like PS3 or whatever. And it showed like some Sega Genesis graphics, and then like it jumped to like Skyrim. And then it showed PS3 15 years later to the PS5, and it was Skyrim. 15 years later, Skyrim. Like, I think we've all, like, technology's kind of exponential, but I also think like the jumps in gaming we saw before, like just aren't possible anymore. Like jumping from 8 pixels to
like
16,
graphically,
and then
but if we're talking like from a peripheral standpoint, like cloud gaming is only going to become. I think it's going to be less graphical and more how we play, because I mean we're already seeing that in just every different medium. Like even how we play, that's the biggest thing that is changing as we go from generation to generation. Like what we're talking about right now, it's like how do you keep people engaged? It's like just make your game like a gigantic hub.
Yeah.
And that's just one of the examples of like people targeting how we play games.
Wasn't that what Epic Games is working on, or whatever, that metaverse or whatever? It's like
exactly.
They're Ready Player One or almost whatever.
Yep. Believe so, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense. Told you had a brain fart. Oh, well, I think specifically to like technology, like we're not gonna like step into VR until it becomes cheaper and more like available. Because right now, like we're starting to peter into like some more accessible VR, and I'm not sold on if that's gonna like. I think someone had a good idea. Like I don't think VR is the future, but I think AR is the future. Augmented reality.
Okay. I can see, yeah.
But I agree with you. No matter what, there's going to be some technological step that isn't just graphics anymore. I do think it's going to be some sort of next step. We just don't know what that is yet. And I feel like too, whatever that next step is, the less hardware you need to experience it, or the price of entry, the more it's going to catch on. So
I was just thinking the other day because I was on my keyboard doing my rotation Final Fantasy,
parsing,
working on my next rank 1 parse. You know what I mean?
Giant
Another Tuesday.
Catch him out there. Yeah.
Toblerone, thinking how he's gonna shake up the parse world. Watching my favorite streamer, Rin Karagani. Theory craft some gunbreaker rotations, and then I was like, man, you know, it'd be so sick if I could just hook my brain into this game and do my rotations with my brain instead of clicking buttons. And then I was like, one,
shadow
that's
boxing.
incredibly, yeah, that's a super dangerous like I am robot thought.
Yeah,
you know. But like at the same time, I was like, imagine how sick it would be if your brain was the peripheral.
Be scary.
It would be terrifying, but man, would it be comfortable to do my rotation.
I mean, that like this. I just want to be able to do my rotations, man.
I just imagine you just like,
yeah, exactly. I wouldn't have to do anything physical. Just with my mind, do my rotation perfectly.
Well, I think that was kind of the idea, but I can't remember the name of it. Whatever Elon was doing with it's like not Starlink. Something they want to do a chip in your brain. I can't remember what the fudge it was called. But that was kind of like a similar thing. Like it wasn't going to be the end all be all, but it would be something that, like, for instance, would help you connect to like your phone. And
no, thank you.
Well, so it's like it's not like it's now like everything's in your brain. You're a massive like supercomputer, but kind of the same thing. It would help you interact and almost like thin that line between having to interact with the technology and receive the information, that kind of stuff. I mean, that's what we see a lot with like the futuristic entertainment, whether it's like TV shows, books, like that's kind of what they're alluding to, is it's less, physical things and more you're putting on something to hook your brain up to or whatever, and then that is now the peripheral or whatever. So I don't think it's that far-fetched, but it's scary to think about.
Terrifying, but damn, would I be optimal.
But where do I sign up, man?
That'd be so messed up too, because like people spend their entire lives like getting good at the hand-eye coordination of a peripheral, and then one day it's just like, all right, who has the optimal brain waves to be good at an FPS?
Honestly,
it's just like all genetic.
I'm down for that.
I've lost my hand-eyes, man. I tell you what, I was talking to my friend Kevin today actually about
I mean,
that.
you never had eyes.
Okay.
Oh,
You're not
fucked
wrong.
up.
It's like the older I get, and I'm only 27, but like as I get older, the more likely when I'm sitting there in my free time, like I'm like, I want to boot up a card game, or like TFT, or like something that's not mechanically intensive.
I agree.
And like the skill gap, because it's like I can't.
I'm like that with
I'm not
single
there
players.
anymore.
I'm like that with streaming. Like I was like streaming, and I was like, man, I really liked like my single player playthrough. I was like, I'm gonna do another one.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, you
I
know
enjoy
what?
single player games more. Yeah, I think it's just like.
And that's what like I'm learning about my stream. It's like, you know what? I don't have to play Warzone every day. It's like I need to do what I'm actually wanting to play. And it was like after Ghost and God of War, it's like I'm probably gonna play another one, like or something.
And like I still like to play the other games, but like that's the thing is like I never used to have that urge or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, yo, I'm grinding prestiges again, baby. Let's go. All day, every day, you know? Like, and now it's like I just want to play some TFT, you know, build some things. Like the most mechanically intensive thing is re-rolling my shop, you know, like that's all I got to do. So it's just interesting though.
A little bit of thinking.
Because I'm telling, I just can't keep up with the Zoomers.
I feel like I've gotten to a point where I'm just like, I picked up Final Fantasy super quick, and I was like, oh, I'm getting rank 1 parses, and like, holy crap, like
You're a gamer.
Like top 10 tanks, like worldwide, like I could really do this, like I could really be good at this game. And I'm just like, why am I good at this game? And it's just like, well, I have crippling ADHD and incredibly repetitious mastery of things,
like tendencies
is what my brain likes. So it's like, okay, this game was made for me, like I'm really good at it. And then like I go to Destiny and I'm just like, wow, this is a lot of hand-eye coordination. I hate this.
I used to be good
really
at this. What?
Yeah,
that's why I just keep having these like midlife gaming crises, dude. I'm like playing these shooters, like, man, I swear to God, like 5 years ago, I'm winning that battle.
Yeah, I would still be in a Final Fantasy helped me get out of a midlife gaming crisis, because I was just like, dude, like I think I could be good at this game probably at any age. Like I could probably be like one of the best at this game at any age. And then like I go to like a hand-eye coordination game, I'm just like, normally I would have been like, what am I doing with my life? I've wasted my entire life. I'm dog shit at games. But now I'm like, hey, you know what? I might be bad at this, but there's other games I'm good at.
That's right.
Yeah, I think just streaming single player games has just made me skip over that midlife gaming crisis and just accept it rather than fight it.
Well, you know what? We might not be great at video games, but you know what we do have? Personalities that make us money. Let's go.
Hey. I do think, well, just to end that note, I do think the thing too that spurred on my midlife gaming crisis even faster was every game introducing skill-based matchmaking, which is fine. But what ended up happening was I would go from pub stomping a whole bunch to being like, I'm good at this, to now like every game I'm fighting for 1.0. And it's like, am I good anymore?
Am I losing a stat?
I was playing Destiny 2 yesterday. I was trying to just get like the 3 Crucible matches done. First game, I went 35-1. I should have gotten like I got we ran out of medals. I should have gotten Unbroken, but the dude had sword ammo around the corner. Like I was so pissed, and I was like,
and then the game's like, whoa, buddy, you're not in the right skill bracket.
Next game I was fighting for my life, but like that also made me realize, like, okay, I do also have to realize skill-based matchmaking is a thing. There are people out there that I'm better than. I think I'm above average. It's just so hard to see that when you're like in the thick of it.
You're very
oh, go ahead.
Like you're very above average. Like if pretty much anyone who is worried about how good they're doing is probably already better than most of the player base, right? Whereas
I'm just trying to get through the game.
Whereas you're just like, hey, like I want to, like there's a difference, right? Where it's like, there's people who are like, I'm trying to get through the game, like fuck yeah, skill-based matchmaking. The less I have to deal with, the better. But then you have people like Fruit who are like, am I good? The fact you're worried means you're better than most people. But that's not who the game. That's not what brings in the numbers. The numbers is like people like Rob, where it's like, fuck yeah, I don't give a shit about this. Let's just get the shit out of the way. Let's go.
And like I have changed. Like I think skill-based matchmaking is fine, and if it's here to stay, that's totally fine with me, because it helps more than it hurts. The like, if it didn't work, they wouldn't keep doing it.
Very true.
But it just made that harder. Like that's why I think I like to play ranked on like everything I play, because at the very least, it's always showing me where I am. Like I have like, oh, I'm struggling. Okay, but I'm in diamond. You know, like that makes sense. Whereas like if I'm in bronze and I was struggling, then I'd be like, what's wrong with me? You know. Whereas like when I go to do it, like for instance, Destiny, unless it's Crucible or competitive, which even then, your rating doesn't decide where you get matched. Like that game, I fight for my life for 1.0, but I have no idea. Like, was it me? Was it the enemy? Was I getting matched with? Where am I at? I don't know.
And it's like even in comp, right? Even comp has skill-based matchmaking.
Well, that's what
so it's like
the video of us playing that today is live. Or yeah, I think went live an hour ago, where we were all at 0 points in competitive. And that was that first game. I think we lost like 0-4. And like 0 points in comp, by the way. Like that's not, like the number's there, but that's not how you get matched.
Yeah, just because you are at 0 points doesn't, like, it still takes into account, like it's not an actual ranking. It's just like, hey, here's comp. You have to get to like a certain rank, but it's like this rank actually only has a part of how you get matched with someone. Whereas like actual ranking systems, like, oh, you're going to play other people in this rank.
Yeah. And so that's kind of what makes it confusing. But yeah, I think that's why I like to play ranked so much, is like it's like comforting. I have something to work with. I like to improve, and also I know where I stack up. Like in League, yeah, I'm hard set gold, but at least I know where I am. I'm gold, and that's still like that's still a top 30%. And you know what? I'll take it.
Copium.
Yeah,
Copium.
Yeah, top 30%. But hey, you know, it is what it is.
Do you guys want to move on to Q&A?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay. We have our first question from Farnelli asks, have any of you guys tried the deck building rogue light /like? I'm still confused by the difference. I think we all are, other than Mr. Fruit.
Okay, yeah, let me just real quick. Rogue like with a K is when you restart, it's literally the exact same every single time. You don't bring anything with you that changes the run. Like, no, this run, now you get to keep this weapon. Or this run, you get plus 5 damage. This run, you get a relic. Yeah, like literally, you could have 100 hours in the game, and you do a new run, and it's the exact same as the first time you played. Whereas a roguelite is you get to bring stuff with you.
Okay. Have you guys played Monster Train? The gameplay is a lot like Slay the Spire, but it has a banger soundtrack.
I have not.
I have
like 40 or 50 hours on it, yeah.
What? Is it sick?
Yeah. It was like,
should I download it?
Yeah, I think so. It was like a little over a year ago, I think, when I was playing it. I was just grinding. And I was like late on videos too, because I just wouldn't stop grinding it. It's yeah, it's kind of like Slay the Spire, but it has a really interesting like hook. And like once you feel like you kind of understand it, because it took me a while before I was like even winning runs. But then once you feel like you kind of understand the strategies, it gets really fun.
What's it called?
Monster Train.
Monster Train.
Yeah,
all right. I'm going to download it. Ronan asks, what gets you through your day more often, motivation or discipline? Do you prefer one or the other?
My Charizard card, my shiny
and Silvally.
VMAX Charizard and Silvally. When my day gets tough, I look at them in the light and I say, ooh, shiny card that's worth hundreds of dollars.
Sparkle.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think motivation's a trap. Like,
motivation's a big trap.
Like, it doesn't really exist, and then people get upset when it's not there or wonder how they're able to do it without it. Like, really, it's just discipline. And so, like, yeah, like, don't blame yourself if motivation isn't there, because I don't really think that inherently exists.
Don't fall for like society's. I'm gonna get super deep here. Don't fall for society's like monetization of motivation. Like
life's MTX.
Not everyone. Yeah, but people are like trying to turn motivation into like life's microtransactions. It's like, no, dude. Like, not everyone's always motivated. And not everyone is always doing something that they are like, I'm having a great time right now. It's like, no, it doesn't. Like, we as humans.
Yeah, like I'm here recording this podcast.
Well, I mean, like, this is dope.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
But like, okay, motivated to like, I was motivated. Okay, I'm gonna cut my sleep short. I was motivated to. I wouldn't say I was motivated to, but I was like, yeah, we're gonna do the podcast. It's gonna be great. But like all like the other backdoor stuff, like no one's motivated to. I'm not motivated to do my taxes for the like how complicated it gets because of this podcast.
Yeah,
I'm not like all this minor things. Like I'm not. It's like yeah, rise to grind. Fuck yeah, do those taxes, bitch. Woo! It's like no, dude. I'm not gonna get motivated for that shit. I'm gonna be depressed as fuck, and I'm gonna wallow in it.
But you got to do it.
But I got to do it.
And I think the trap is when people are like waiting on motivation, because more often than not, it may never come. So if you're never gonna do something, especially something you like think you want to do, but you're like, I gotta wait till I'm motivated.
Mm-hmm.
You might be waiting a while.
Well,
if you trap yourself now, yeah, you're never gonna do it.
I have a really good example of it. I think I'm motivated to Peloton right now, but I'm not disciplined in the sense of the days where I don't feel like Pelotoning, I don't. But on those days when if I was disciplined with it, I would just be like, I have to do it. Like you have to go do this.
Yeah.
And I just don't think I'm at that point.
Like you don't always have to be motivated to do something just because it's good for you. Or
you know what that question just disciplined me to do at Peloton after this.
That's right. Shit. Go get it.
Because I'm not motivated. I'm disciplined.
Yeah, discipline way more valuable than motivation any day of the week.
Large Dad asks, yo, when we getting a recipe and cooking tutorial for Mr. Fruit's protein French toast?
All right, let me hit you with it. You go to Google and you search anabolic French toast recipe. I think I clicked like the second link. It's not my own creation. I certainly couldn't do it. It's literally, mine's a little bit different just because I bulk. I like when I make it for like 6 days. But literally I take a carton of egg whites. Go, empty it. Cinnamon. I take cinnamon, I shake it once for each slice of bread. And with the bread I use, it takes 12 slices. So 12 shakes. Like 5 things of sweetener. A couple lidfuls of vanilla extract. Like 4 or 5. You whisk it together. And you dunk the toast. You throw it in the oven. 13 minutes at 400 degrees. So whatever that works for you. But that's just...
And that lasts like 6 days in the fridge?
Yeah.
I love how you were like, here's my recipe, just Google it, and then you actually go over your recipe.
Well, but see, like, that's it. Like, I couldn't give you specifics. I have no idea. Like, I've just figured out. But I will say the one thing is find bread that is, like, bigger and more absorbent. So, like, don't get your normal bread. Like, sandwich bread. Because, like, you could make, like, 24 slices. It just doesn't work. Specifically, I use, like, country oat or something. White bread. But usually it's like, you can also look at the calorie information. Sandwich bread's like 70 calories a slice. Look for ones like 140 to 150. That way you have to eat less and it absorbs more.
Yeah. Classy says, who's some of your goats in the sports that you follow?
Tim Duncan, baby.
Yeah, I guess Tom Brady, but like that's like everybody follows that sport. Like I don't follow Quidditch, like or something like like
a Harry Potter.
Yeah,
I guess I don't have a goat right now, but like if I had a goat, Tim Duncan, baby, that's cool.
Yeah, right now I guess football would be Aaron Rodgers. League would be it's always been Faker, but Bjergsen.
Faker.
Which Bjergsen apparently might come out of retirement. Hype.
They need him.
Valorant, Tens.
CS?
Shroud. That's the only one I know. even though he's
wait,
X.
I can go. It's MK Leo.
Oh, yeah.
M for Leo.
I'm actually a tweaker.
Hey, bro, that's not good.
Hey, and I mango down.
Hey, yo, you need to.
Well, yeah,
hey, yo, you
melee's
need to,
see, like that's
intervention.
ultimate melee. I don't know.
Melee. I don't think I have.
Don't say hungry.
I love Leffen
I
in
do like
Melee
Hungry
just because he brings the drama.
Yeah, I'm sad he hasn't
Do you
been
think
able to
Armada
do
would still
anything.
run it in Melee?
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah, he like kind of quit. He's like, I gotta give you other guys some chances. Although I would be interested to see how he plays, because Zane wasn't really, because Zane's kind of like number one now almost.
Yeah.
But he wasn't really playing when Armada quit. So it'd be interesting to see them at their peaks. But I don't know the Peach Marth matchup. I feel like that might be in. Actually, no, it might be in Marth's favor. I don't know. That's irrelevant. Yeah, I just have a whole bunch of different esports. Any fighting game that isn't Smash, I'm a normie. Go Sonic Fox, because I know his name.
Go Sonic Fox.
That's right. Yeah.
The Mythical T, is there a game that you really love even though you haven't really played it yourself? For example, I haven't played it myself, but I really love Azora's Wrath. I don't know how that's possible.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they love a
like
game, but they haven't played it.
Like you've probably like watched playthroughs on YouTube or something, or I could see where that. Yeah. No.
Final Fantasy VII, the original. I never played it, but I always watched my older brother did, and I have like memories of
Yeah,
that.
I mean, I can't really think of one, honestly. Crystal asked, question for Rob. Since the final of America's Got Talent happened this past week, who were you rooting for to take home the money? Me personally, I love the aerialist, but of course he was the runner-up. Me and Sydney rooting for Jimmy, and he didn't even get top 5. Bullshit. Crime. I'm sick of these shows. I'm sick of these shows, dude. Jimmy was incredible.
Whoever won, what was their talent?
He was like a mentalist guy who would be like, all right, judges, like, look at these pictures. And and it was like, all right, guys, so I want you to all write something you guys would do that is charitable. Everybody was like, they all like write something they do charitable to the audience, and they throw it at the judges. And the judges like pick it up and they read it. And like one that Simon picks up is like, I would give my cool clothes to like a kid. And the guy's like, oh, that's super cool. All right, Terry, in this balloon is something that I wrote before the show. And like he pops it, and then it's like, oh my god, Terry reveals that it says like I donate cool clothes to like a kid in need. Yeah, and then like these confetti explodes, and all the confetti says is give. And the guy the entire time is like, make sure you guys give, and like, yes, the message is right and stuff, but you can clearly tell he's just doing it to
playing it up.
Yeah, he's just playing the field, going like, with giveness and kindness, you can do it. And like the trick was like nothing. Like the trick was like Simon had somebody said he was going to donate clothes. I wrote before the show I was going to donate clothes. Confetti explodes and it says give. That was it. And there was this incredible singer named Jimmy who was great, and this little girl named, I think, Victory. She was a great little opera singer, and neither of them like got in the top. It was unbelievable. Yeah,
I'm livid, and I didn't even watch it.
Yeah, so I'm boycotting America's Got Talent until next season.
My man, hey, you got to stand for something, right?
The counselor says, for Blue, what are Fruit and Rob's best and worst qualities? For Rob, what are Fruit and Blue's best and worst qualities? For Fruit, what are Blue and Rob's best and worst qualities? Also, Fruit, I think This Is My Moment song is from Human by Rag and Bone Man.
Probably not.
Oh, okay. We'll go
I think
one
I've
by
made
one.
up this song. It doesn't exist.
This is my moment.
That's Rebecca Black. I swear it is.
This is my moment. See, whatever.
See,
That's
the greatest showman. It was a limited. They only showed it in my theater that one time to mess with me, and then they took it out from everywhere else. And so everyone's like, "Bro, you're." But that's why Claire also thinks, because that's what I'm saying.
Okay, start with the worst and then do best. So
I would say Fruit and Blue's worst quality is that they're too hard on themselves. I know that is like kind of a cop-out answer, but they do very expect a lot out of themselves. And if they don't reach those really not unrealistic, but very hard goals to reach, that they know that they're capable of reaching, and if they don't, they hold it against themselves. And that's actually legit. That's not like an interview like, oh, I think I'm too hard of a worker.
Yeah, I just don't know when to quit, you know?
Yeah.
I just love working too much. It's easy to come up with good things, but not bad things.
Okay, well, I'll go real first. You can think of something shitty about us. Fruit's worst quality. He's too self-deprecative sometimes. Like, we were doing trials, and like he'll just like remind himself of like how dog shit we are.
Why you care so much?
I'm like, Fruit, you can't be doing this to yourself. This is really not healthy. That's Fruit's worst quality is that he thinks I think it's probably the same what Rob said. You're lofty heights, and then you remind yourself of these lofty heights you can't reach.
Yeah, because you have reached these lofty heights before.
Yeah, you can reach. It's just at the current moment you're not reaching, but that's okay. And Fruit's best quality. Wait, Rob, you didn't tell us our best qualities.
I would say Blue's best quality is empathy. I think Blue has taught me a lot in terms of like when I talk to him and he gives me, and like I can confide in him and he'll tell me nice things and he can like really relate to that or relate to how I'm feeling and stuff. And I like that about Blue. And I feel like with Christian, the same thing with Christian. I feel like I can, even if it is a disappointing thing or a good thing or something I'm happy about or something I'm upset at myself about, I feel like no matter what, I think the first person I tell, even before I tell my parents, is Mr. Fruit. And I feel like the fact that I can be open with him about anything is his best quality because I know I'm not going to receive any sort of judgment. I'm instead going to receive advice and something that puts me in the correct direction, I feel like. And that's almost like kind of what I said in my best man speech. Maybe one day you guys will see that.
Unearth it. I just don't know where it is. Claire has all of it, I think.
I actually don't know where it is.
So Rob's worst quality is when he's mad at you, he will absolutely passive-aggressively treat you like shit.
I mean, I am pretty petty. I will.
Okay, yeah.
You should have been at the
Rob's
wedding,
worst
man.
quality. Rob's worst quality is that he's petty. There you go.
Yeah, I'm very petty.
He is everyone, but he knows it.
I'm very petty.
Speaking of the wedding, when I had to keep being like that person sprayed him, and then he would just keep making passive aggressive, really loud, like, man, I can't. Like, wow.
Also funny, like also everybody, it gets people going. You know, everybody.
It was only the guys. I was like, Rob, you gotta stop.
Everybody was loving it. The crowd was cooking.
Rob's best quality, he's everyone's hype man. It's hard not to be hype around Rob.
Raise the roof.
It's true. Blue's worst quality is his need for perfection.
Okay, chill, bro.
You've always had that problem, and I think that's what's always, and you've talked about it, always hurts you when you try and make content and stuff. It's like good or great isn't good enough.
Doesn't get past the editing floor because the editor, you
literally like make it. You want a thing you can't even attain yourself.
You want the 5-star story, the one that you go undercover and like, you bring
like
down a
4.9 rating. It's gotta be 5. And so, so you just gotta ease up a little bit. Rob's worst quality is beating himself up too much though when you do make a mistake. Like he thinks that making one mistake and it's like that's it. But
it's over.
We're all figuring it out and we all make mistakes. So you also gotta be easier on yourself. Blue, I would say one of his best aspects among many is the ability to just like have fun with him. Just like your laughter alone can make anyone like just
one of the first things they said about you.
Yeah. Like it's infectious, and then I get going, That's why like the Solak was so much fun. Yeah, most people are like, "What the fudge are you guys talking about?" But it was just hilarious because I'm just talking to you. And then Rob's best trait is he's a true ride or die. He'll always be there when you need him. It's like you sound the Rob, or you light the Rob torch, in the sky. He's like Batman.
Lord of the Rings.
Or yeah, the braziers, and he's always there.
Even we just lit the Destiny ones. Mr. Free was like, "It's been a while since we dusted this one off."
Rob did like, all right, but he still came.
And I looked in the distance. I was like, "No,
yeah, that can't." Is
that?
Duh.
Oh shit!
Yeah. Babe, I'll be back.
Here we go.
Well, I said that, I was like,
going to war.
Like, oh, she was like, "Oh, what are you streaming this morning?" I was like, "Destiny." She's like, "Why?" Like that was like, that's literally what she said. It was funny. Stargan asks, "Hey guys, I'm not sure if you guys have gotten this question before. What is your guys' favorite Pokemon game? Mine is Black and White 2, and was that really the game that got me into Pokemon? Heart Gold is always my go-to. That's the one that like I really played. I got like a Game Shark for it and was making shiny Pokemon in it and all that kind of stuff."
Oh, he was running the market, dude.
Mm-hmm,
I feel like Nostalgia, Crystal, my most played ever, Emerald. But then like the most solid game, I think, has to be like Heart Gold and Soul Silver. I just feel like they didn't miss with that one.
They really didn't.
They hit.
I probably the one I put the most time into, ironically, would probably be Sword and Shield. But that's just because they designed so much of the game for you to be able to play over and over.
Which is nice. They should do that more.
Which is pretty nice. The raids alone.
It's nice to have an in game,
But as far as my favorite, it would. I can't really pick. It's definitely between Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and Sun and Moon. Sun and Moon, not a popular pick, but I will live and die. I will stand by Sun and Moon.
I mean, I honestly think Sun and Moon like helped rekindle my love for Pokemon. Like it never went away, but like I don't know, I was playing again. I was like, wait a second, we like Pokemon, like
it captured something that I think I lost in X and Y.
Oko asks, Blue, what do you hope to see most in the live letter? I'll also whisper you again if I see you online, or you can check Discord DMs from my character.
Oh, that's right. I have Discord DMs from you. Okay. Live letter, which is tonight, by the way. Well, technically,
what is live letter?
So the live letter, they're going to be doing tonight because we're recording this on Friday. So hopefully some of my predictions or my excitements happen. They're basically going to be over job changes, like how the combat's going to be changing in the game. The new skills and stuff that are going to be coming to each job, and just in general going over a lot of things for Endwalker. Endwalker's 2 months away now, so I'm really excited. I'm just looking forward to Gunbreaker because I think that's like it's my favorite job, and I love Gunbreaker, and I don't know what I would change about it. And I think for that reason, that's why I'm so excited to see what they're going to change. But yeah. Hopefully,
I hope you get what. Is it going to be in Japan?
It's going to be in Japan time. Yeah. So
is he cosplaying?
No. He already did his reveal cosplay stream. That's only for like the reveal.
Okay.
I will quickly say I would love a 2 cartridge spender for Gunbreaker if we're going to be like specific. We don't have like just a nuke button, and that would be tight.
Okay. Johnny Krumer asks, what's your go-to snack while watching a movie? Lifesaver gummies.
Oh, that's fucking fucked up. You can't be doing that.
Yeah, Lifesaver gummies, man. I think that's probably my favorite candy right now is Lifesaver gummies.
Really awful for my teeth. Whoppers.
You like Whoppers?
I love Whoppers.
Ew, man.
Wait, we've had this conversation before too.
Yeah, man. You bite into a Whopper, it's like it's like
it's so good.
It's like I took a bite in an attic. Like I took a bite of an attic.
What? It tastes so good.
Like it's so dusty and ashy in there. Like, I don't like it.
No. Okay, so if it's definitely between like Whoppers. Nah, it's Whoppers. I fuck up Whoppers, dude.
Mr. Fruit, what's your go-to snack while watching a movie?
Man, I got a lot. First off, I want to say, I can't hold my bladder more than like an hour, dude. I drink too much water. I swear to God.
You drink. I mean, you drink technically the amount you're supposed to drink.
I know, but that's why it's like I couldn't even. I heard Oko, and I was like, "Oh, it's gonna be a Final Fantasy question. Maybe I can pee in time." Couldn't.
You did.
Oh, I did. I like.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you just got back. Yeah, this is the question after.
It's just man, peeing after like when you gotta pee. That's such a good feeling. Man.
It's a great feeling.
It's a great feeling. Anyway,
okay, what's your favorite snack? What's your go-to snack when watching a movie?
It's a toss-up. One Old Faithful Sour Patch watermelon. Watermelon.
Sour Patch is awesome.
But if I'm at the theater recently, it's been a Coca-Cola Icy.
Okay. That's where you get it. That's where you get it.
Mm-hmm. I will say I haven't gotten an Icy since coming back from the honeymoon outside of theaters. It was good. It helped break
the chain,
my addiction.
But you can still now get like.
But yeah, but now it's like a treat. You know, I get it when I go to the theater, which has been like twice. But
Estra asks, follow-up question to last week. So to clarify, I broke my back while head kicking a 7-foot training bag and hitting hard enough to slam my vertebrae together, cracked the piece between them. I assumed it was a muscle thing and tried a lot of different methods, but nothing thought of a broken bone. It was extremely painful and still is, but I'm still almost used to it now. Actual question though, since y'all heavily suggested good diets, are there any food plan services that provide healthy and delicious food that y'all personally recommend?
Nah, if you find one, let me know.
Yeah, I mean, I tried HelloFresh, it just got kind of expensive.
Yeah.
But I loved every kind of HelloFresh meal Sydney and I did. You can just look up HelloFresh recipes, though. I mean, they just give you the stuff. Like, it's very convenient, and that's what's nice about it. But, I mean, you could literally just make those yourself. Like,
see, I need to go even further than that. I still hate cooking. I'm lazy. Just go to where I just got to reheat it. Yeah, just that's all I got to do. So, like, a lot of what I do, it's a local place, though. It's not like a chain or anything, and they just do some meal planning. And my local grocery store now has I can't remember the name of them, but they kind of have some things there that I've found. No, it's like a meal prep business that's like they have a deal with this grocery store, I guess, or something, so you can find them there, and those are pretty good. But yeah, I'm next level lazy. Like, just give me where I just got to heat up. So
I wish I could recommend, but I have the same issue, Rob. Like any meal prep or meal like delivery service that is just like, hey, here's a healthy, like all of that. Like you could get like a million healthy options, but like God, they're just so expensive.
Yeah, it just catches up with you, and then like you realize you're just paying for the convenience of them grocery shopping for you and telling you what to cook when you can literally just do that yourself.
Yeah. 100%. What I've been doing, which I've lost a lot of weight recently, is
let's go.
Oh, good for you, man.
Might not be what most people recommend. I've been getting really into meal replacement shakes. They're so good.
Which ones are you doing?
I'm doing. I've been on Ample for a little while. Been on Ample like it's a.
Been on Ample, man.
No, I've bought Ample.
Where do you inject it?
In my butthole.
Sphincter.
But yeah, Ample has you can get like a protein or a non-protein version, like 400 calorie shake. Sometimes I just don't want to eat, but like if I don't eat, then that's also how you gain weight because your body starts retaining stuff,
and then your metabolism slows.
Yeah, and then your metabolism slows. So I was like, damn, like.
There's no winning.
What's the how do I fix this? And it's like, okay, just like drink like a 400 calorie shake that has like all the vitamins and minerals you need, and now I don't have to think about a meal every day.
Yeah, technically, like probably the easiest way to go about it is one. At the end of the day, especially if you're looking to lose weight, calories in versus calories out, that's all that matters. So you want to do a calorie deficit, figure out how much you need daily, and then smaller meals but more frequent, kind of like that. Yep. So one, it makes you less likely to crave something else, and then two, you never quite hit that like super hungry phase, where you're more likely to binge, which is my problem. And then that way your metabolism doesn't, or your body also doesn't like think that it's only getting fed at X time or whatever. And there's a whole bunch of different studies, and people will argue one way or another, but calories in versus calories out, that's the biggest thing.
Next question here from Ricardio the Heart. Hey guys, since we're coming up on hoodie season, what is your go-to favorite hoodie to wear? Stay tuned, I'll say.
Yeah, I think it's this upcoming hoodie. I don't even have it, but I already know.
It's ships tomorrow.
I'll know tomorrow.
What about you, Blue? What's your favorite hoodie to wear?
Probably I've been in love with Dado's first drop hoodie. I wear that thing all the time.
Is that the one with like the blue owl?
Yes, on the back. It's
a dope drop.
It's a really good hoodie. It's probably my favorite hoodie. So yeah, I wear that thing all the time.
Lil Risque asks, with all the hype around celeb boxing and the recent altercation between MGK and Conor McGregor, would you like to see them box and fight or rap battle?
What the?
That one's a little out of the...
I'm not watching either of those.
What is this, 2013 rap battles? Is that what we're...
I don't even think MGK makes rap anymore. I think he makes this like punk shit. That's kind of trash.
I also just hate that all these MMA fighters are going to boxing. Like, it's not fair. And so, like, you're never going to get the same thing. So I say,
lose.
Go all out. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But, like, they still lose because that's just it. You're like, oh, I could beat you at this thing you don't do. But
it's not exactly. People underestimate how much goes into like the technique that goes into boxing.
Yeah, you would think it's an entirely different discipline, and the way you fight and everything. So I don't know. If I could, get them both in the cage.
Oh yeah, steel cage match, brother.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Treyborn asks, what's a song from your childhood that you feel like you could confidently remember all the words to? Or alternatively, what's a movie from your childhood that you could quote most of?
Stacy's Mom. Still know every word.
Got it going on.
Stacy's mom has got it going on. Stacy, can I come over after school?
Yeah, we didn't say prove it.
Okay, after school.
Dude, I mean, like, fucked when I was a kid. It was Genie in a Bottle. Christina Aguilera.
I'm a genie in a bottle.
I guess the first one I can
rub me the right way if you want to be with me. Baby, there's a price to pay.
I'm a probably Lucky.
The right way.
Lucky by Britney Spears.
Oh,
how's that one go?
We're gonna have a Britney v. Christina argument.
Every morning she wakes up with a knock, knock, knock on her door. Boom, 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 boom. It's time for makeup. That one.
I don't.
And then it's like, isn't she lucky? This Hollywood girl, and they say she's so lucky. She's a star, but she cry. You've never heard that?
I don't think so.
Oh, it's a great song. That's my favorite Britney song.
I didn't mean to offend you.
I mean, hey, first of all, free Britney. Hey, she's having a great time. She's engaged apparently, and deleted her Instagram. I hope she's okay.
Go on, Britney.
Reacher asks, what three people, live or dead, celebrity or whatnot, would you choose to go out drinking with? Or in Fruit's case, just hang out?
I feel like we just had this question.
Yeah, I feel like we did too. But, this is just like there's so many people out in the world. Pat McAfee and AJ Hawk, because I see him right there on my Twitter feed. And that seems like
I
a good
answered
time.
like Nikolai Tesla or something just to poke his brain.
But it's 3 people, so you have to pick 3. Like now,
What's
there's an added layer.
Nikolai Tesla at 3 different
points in
stages of life.
I feel like they won't even talk to you. They'll be like, "Wait a second, you're me in the no, you're me in the wait, but I'm me right now."
Hey guys, focus! I need to ask you questions.
Guys, I brought you here. Come on, like, I can't even answer that. No idea.
Okay. Johnny, please, you guys and the Extended Dream Team have been hired as high school teachers. What subjects does everybody teach? Dado teaches math.
Yeah. But let's be more specific, like AP Calc.
Yeah, just something that is like very smart and optimal.
Mm-hmm. Bless does theater.
Yeah, Bless is the theater teacher for sure. Shark, PE teacher.
You know what? That's oddly fitting.
Shark,
Shark, so fitting. Yeah.
Shark PE teacher. Blue is your cool English teacher.
Yay!
I think like
I speak English.
Yeah, Blue's your English teacher. Mr. Fruit. Probably like your like advanced video production, you know, Photoshop.
I was gonna
teach,
say like art, graphic
like that.
design, something.
Yeah, art, graphic design teach.
Tech.
Me. Oh God. Well, probably social studies, I guess.
I was gonna say social studies.
Yeah,
they've always just seemed like the teachers that were just there and
just kind of like, hey, I'll teach.
Yeah,
yeah. Versus. Versus. What would I put? What could I see versus being my teacher? Maybe like there's a like cultural studies, like, so I guess almost like AP human geography, because that's where you teach about other like cultures and all that kind of stuff. And I think versus is very rounded in that. Would be my choice for that. I don't know if you guys have.
I can't even think of other classes anymore, so you're doing great.
Dork
anatomy.
Is
Dork is anatomy. Yeah,
Dork's teaching anatomy. Arios, ancient civilization teacher or something like that.
Yeah,
teaches about ancient civilizations.
History teacher.
Yeah, but like ancient history, like teaching about knights and all that kind of stuff. And
what else could I see him as? Fudge else other classes did I have?
What's advanced gym?
Yeah.
Power weights?
Yeah, power weight teacher. Yeah. 100%.
Little Johnny boy with the last question says
Joey's janitor.
Oh, Joey's a student. Joey's the one going to all of our classes.
Joey's the teacher's pet.
Little Johnny boy asks, what are you guys' thoughts on the recent Apple event on the past Tuesday?
Didn't even see it. Don't know anything.
Didn't even see it. Don't care. I'm not getting the new phone until they announce the Apple Car. That's when I'll tune in. What? You laugh now.
Did you see it, Blue? Do you know anything about it?
Wait, there's an Apple Car?
No. The conference or whatever.
Oh, no. I didn't see it. No,
I just said I'm not watching.
I don't even know what they announced. Like, I just had no interest.
They announced the iPhone 13.
iPhone 12.2.
And it
is like the exact same, I assume?
It's the same as my 11, I think. Like, I don't know. Yeah. It's just my 11 is going to go slower now. I think that's what I have. Yeah. I don't know.
I'm keeping my X until this thing doesn't run anymore. So
yeah, I think I still have an X too.
Yeah, I'm not the person that like needs a new phone every year. I think that is something that is pretty stupid.
Especially now, like year to year, it's even more minute than like it used to be. Because like sometimes year to year, it would be like pretty big jumps or like, whoa. And that's like, what?
Yeah,
you just add another number. Oh, okay.
Have been so powerful for like so long now that it's like I just feel less and less of a need to upgrade to the next phone.
Agreed.
I'm waiting for that the chip.
And that'll be the last question of the podcast, which means the podcast is coming to a close. Hope you guys learned how to run a podcast and talk through a podcast through GG Over Easy 101.
Yes. I feel enlightened.
Good. You should. Blue, where can people find you on the internet?
On the
You guys
podcast.
can find me everywhere at BlueWestlo.
You guys can find me everywhere at Cosmic Couch.
You can find me everywhere at Mormish Fruit with my Deathloop Let's Play.
Yay!
Plug.
There'll probably be a new Nuzlocke afterwards for the people that care. Because they're probably like, oh, I still won't watch Deathloop, but I'll tune in for the Nuzlocke. That'll be it.
See you next week. 102.
102. Don't be late. Don't be tardy.
For the party.